Welcome to Back on the Broomstick,
A modern witch's spoken word grimoire.
where two witchy friends from way back are reconnecting to their pagan roots after a long period of mundanity.
We're rewalking the path of the wise and trying out all the latest spells, rituals, and magical theory in today's witchcraft and pagan practices.
So grab your wand and your incense
Your cauldron and your crystals
and join us
as we get
back on the broomstick.
Hi, and welcome to Back on the Broomstick. I'm Layla, and this episode we're talking about Litha, the summer solstice, the longest day and the shortest night of the year. For witches and pagans, Litha is a celebration of solar power, fire, growth, joy, and everything blooming wild under the summer sun. But as the sun reaches its peak, life has a way of ramping up too. The days get longer, the calendar gets fuller, the energy gets louder, and suddenly even your magical practice can start to feel like one more thing on the list. So this episode is for the witch trying to keep a little magic alive in the middle of all that midsummer momentum. We're going to share practical witchy ways to work with the rising energy of the season, stay connected to your magic when life gets busy, and let the sun warm your spirit without burning you out.
And I'm Chelle, and I really feel like this is the season of burnout. And I really wanted us to talk about this today because it can't just be you and I. And we want to kind of delve into how to avoid falling off the broomstick because it happens and life happens. But there are ways, just little tiny ways, you can keep that magic alive each and every day in between barbecues, softball games, volleyball games, trips to the lake, and everything else that you're doing this summer.
Now, we've talked about Litha in a few episodes in the past, and we'll put links to those down in the show description so you can check those out if you want a little more in-depth information on the history of Litha or the folklore around it. We've got all that available for you. But one of the things that we've mentioned quite often in our Litha episodes is we jokingly, seriously call this the forgotten holiday.
Joking, not joking.
Yeah.
It is kind of a thing that we've beat to death over the years, but it's so true. And I think that is where the premise of this episode comes from is it becomes the forgotten holiday because of all the things I just previously mentioned, family reunions and everybody's outside and you want to go on vacation. There's festivals. Pagan Pride is coming up. Hopefully you're all out doing that. There's just lots to do. We've been cooped up for months, and depending on where you live, it's been longer than some other folks have had to be cooped up. And it's the first thing to kind of get kicked off your calendar. Well, I got a barbecue. I got to drop the kids off. I got to go do this. Then I got to stop at the store. We're going on a boat ride. I will do ritual later.
I don't have time to be witchy.
Yeah, I'll do it another day.
Exactly. So that's when people fall off the broomstick. And that's kind of why we wanted to explore why it's the forgotten holiday. And everything's ramping up. You would think that, the sun is getting more powerful, the light is getting more powerful here in the northern hemisphere. And so we're getting into this season of growth and abundance and all of this light and solar energy and you should be at the height of your power. You've got all this beautiful solar light right at your fingertips to fuel your spell work. But it seems to be the first ritual that people will ditch. People tend to put away their magical practice a lot in the summertime. And I think this is one of the best times to get out and be witchy.
Well, I was out mowing and it was hot and it was like 1,000,000,000% UV today. And it got to a point where the sun was a little too much for me. I felt like my skin was burning. I felt like I was getting dehydrated and a little woozy. And like I just needed to get out of the sun. I needed a break. And I think that that can kind of be a metaphor to your magical life as well. Sometimes the light is too much.
This time of year is gorgeous. We're turning towards late spring, early summer. Litha is absolutely beautiful, but it's also a lot.
Draining. It's draining.
Too much of a good thing is too much of a good thing. It can be very bad. We were joking earlier, talking about your mowing situation and the sun being really strong. And when I lived in Southern California, I used to joke about the sun was trying to kill me all the time. it starts to get pretty bad. But we were talking about magical sunscreen, putting your sunscreen on to help protect you from the too much of the sun. Sometimes you need that in your magical life too, some type of sunscreen, some type of magical layer to protect you from the too much, I guess, and kind of help bring you back to your witchy self.
You kind of want to scale it back, but keep it, even if you're doing bare minimum, do bare minimum.
Yes, this time of year, if your witchy magical practice is kind of going by the wayside because there's too much of everything else going on, we're going to give you a few tips, a few simple magical things that you can do. Much like I loved your barbecue reference earlier, so I'm going to kind of go with that a little bit.
Why,
And
you hungry?
well, yeah, kind of. But who doesn't love a good barbecue? I mean, dang, this is the
Right?
perfect time of year for that. Anyway, munchies aside, sometimes when it's really hot, you change how you eat, right? You're going to
Right.
eat lighter foods. You're going to eat different foods. You're going to eat things that are easier to make that you don't have to get your stove involved in and get your kitchen all hot. So you can do that in your magical life as well, in your witchy life. You can change your spells and rituals. Maybe you're not going to do a 45-minute meditation at your altar, all cozy on your couch in your nice little blanket. Maybe you want to do something, a 5-minute meditation where you just turn your face to the sun for just a few moments and feel that strength on you and let that vitamin D, that solar light kind of pour over you for a moment while you give thanks for that. Scale it down a little bit.
That can be applied to a lot of different things. We pulled a card yesterday, you and I, and we didn't do a full spread. We didn't do no full reading. Pulled a card, done. So you can do that same thing with divination, whether you are pulling a card, whether you're pulling a rune, whether you are pulling a charm out of your charm bag. It doesn't need to be elaborate. Pull one card, 5 seconds. Maybe you were a tea or a coffee drinker in the morning. Pull that card while you're sipping your coffee or tea before you run out to every summer thing you've waited 5.5 months to be able to go outside and do in a tank top.
Good point. Another good thing too is the energy of summer is the get up and go energy. And reminding yourself to utilize that in your magical practice and not just in your busy life. It's easy to say, oh, well, this Litha ritual, I can just skip this one. It's not as big as Beltane that we just had. It's not as big as the first of the harvest festivals that are coming up soon. It's just Litha. We're not planting anything. Things are just growing. You don't really need to do anything. And because of that extra sun energy in your life, all that get up and go that you're doing everywhere else, your magical practice, your rituals are easy to forget, easy to put aside. We've talked about the Oak King and the Holly King, and that this is the height of the Oak King's power. This is when he is at his absolute strongest. This is when that go get 'em energy, that kind of go out, be strong, make your dreams come true kind of energy is harnessable.
And this is where I think Litha can be kind of a blessing and a burden. The Oak King and the Holly King are a good representation of that because you have the blessing on one hand, summer has begun. We're in that summerness in all that it is, but the days are getting shorter now. And the night is starting to creep back in, and we're starting it to be in that half of the year where we're creeping towards the cold again. And it's like, for the love of all things holy, we just got out of the cold. I am not ready to start creeping back towards that. So Litha has that blessing and burden aspect of it. And with the Oak King and the Holly King, yes, one is coming into his reign, but now one is being sacrificed for this half of the year. So I kind of look at it as that kind of angle of the blessing and burden. Think of it going back to the metaphor of out mowing the lawn and being out in that hot sun. I wanted to be out there. I wanted to take in the sun. I feel like my body needed the vitamin D, but in the same respect, sometimes too much can be too much, and it's time to go into the shade. And you can transition that back to magic, where you're out in that sun energy too much. You need to retreat a little bit into the shade just to take a moment so it doesn't become overwhelming and you don't get the burn. And that can lead to what we have called shade magic.
When the sun is at its most powerful, the shade is small, but it's powerful too. When the sun is at its peak, There is still shade under the trees, and it might be concentrated, but it can be very soothing and a very good place to be. And so, shade magic is knowing when to rest. Because, like you said, you wanted to be in the sun. You were excited to go be in the sun, get some things done, utilize that bright energy. And when it became too much, you looked for the counterbalance, you looked for the
Right.
shade. And so that's exactly what we would like to do in a magical way. So turn your face to the sun, get a little bit of that energy, but when it gets to be too much, what are some things that we can do to embrace shade magic in the summertime? Not the same as like shadow work. This is just being in the shade. We're not being in the dark. We're just kind of sheltered from too much.
When I think of shade magic, I'm thinking of almost like a quiet, minimal retreat. You're not getting out of the heat per se. You're not getting out of the light per se. You need to not be in the directness for a minute. And so with shade magic, I kind of look at that as skirting the directness. Obviously, with it being kind of one of those hot sun festival things, I like to incorporate a candle. And I know it's hot and I know it's warm, and candles create more heat, but this is more of like an evening, nighttime activity. I'm just thinking of things like lighting the candle. You light that candle, and I like to do candle meditation. I like to do candle scrying. So this kind of is a little mixture of magic scrying and all in one little thing. But, kind of light that candle, and instead of where I would normally like scry into a candle or do traditional candle magic, you're kind of focusing on that flame. What's in the shadows? What is still in the light but just barely hidden? So I guess I don't know, maybe it's like my own weird form of divination, scrying the shadows. But what's just peeking out from the light? And those are sometimes there's messages in there to pay attention to.
I love that you said messages in the shadows because sometimes the shadows seem magical. If you're out at a park or something and you walk into the shade of a wooded area, sometimes it feels magical. Take, for instance, slight left turn. I promise it's not too much of one, but one of our favorite places to go, Brushwood Folklore Center, has a section of camping in an area called the Fairy Woods.
I love the fairy woods.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places to camp. That's where we used to have our seasonal campsite and everything. And literally, the difference in temperature from walking in the main fields or the camping fields or the workshop fields and then stepping into the fairy woods was like a 10 to 15-degree difference. Cooler.
But it was also like a 10 to 15-degree difference magically too.
Yeah, you felt like you were stepping into a magical place. You felt like you were stepping into a different realm. It's why it got the name the Fairy Woods, because it's just that much of a difference in feeling.
But the light still penetrated. The light was still infiltrated, but the woods and all that is a part of the woods created those shadow places that created a different kind of magic.
That softness, it softens the light. And sometimes we need to soften the intensity of everything around us. So, hydrating is one of the important things too. And so, this little spell incorporates being hydrated with a little bit of shade magic. And one of my favorite things to drink, which is lemonade in either tea or anything else. And I also like fruit lemonade. You go to like a cafe or something and you can get your strawberry or your blueberry lemonades,
Oh
things like that.
yeah, yep.
Yeah. Well, have you ever had lavender lemonade?
I have not.
It's quite delicious. If you're lucky enough to have a little lavender syrup, just put a little bit of lavender syrup in your lemonade. Or if you have lavender flowers that are edible, you can also steep it a little bit like a tea. Very delicious. And it makes your drink kind of purple. It's very pretty.
Ooh.
Yeah. So take your delicious shady drink with you into a shady spot. And you've got the lemonade, which represents the sun, the lavender that represents just a little bit of shade and peace and tranquility. Balance that vital energy of the sun and the citrus. So take that into the shade. And all you got to say is, I've taken in enough light for today. I've had enough. And have a few sips of your drink. Relish the shade for a moment and that difference in temperature, that step into a slightly different frame of mind. just long enough to drink a drink and stay hydrated. Doesn't have to be elaborate.
I like that because that's kind of your it gives me that sense of drinking in the magic. You're kind of refueling your magic with the water. We're expending a lot of energy for whatever reasons right now, and including magically, and replenishing that and replenishing yourself is something that you forget magically and in reality when it comes to hydration in the sun.
Exactly. And if you don't have time to make sun tea, we've talked sun tea to death. It's a wonderful way to capture the energy. Just like moon water, you can get your sun water in your tea and then drink it. But you can also get a lot of that energy just by taking your drink, water or whatever, holding it up and capturing a little bit of that sunlight in it just for a second and say, I capture the vitality of the sun in this drink, and then drink it in. If you don't have time to do sun tea, just capture a little bit of that sun on your drink, drink it in. That works too.
I do think that probably the biggest point is no matter what you're doing, do something because there's a time and a place for elaborate. There's a time and a place for going all out and full on ritual. But there's also a time and a place to just remember the magic. It doesn't necessarily always have to be some deep spiritual working. It can just be an acknowledgement of magic. If that's all you can muster for that day or that week or that month, just an acknowledgement of magic can be enough.
My favorite almost summer ritual lately has been going out on my back porch as the sun's coming up. Okay, it's after the sun is up, it's not rising, but early. While it's still early, sitting on my back porch in that sun as it warms, because, we hate to be cold. You and I, we don't love the cold.
That's why I don't wake up until after that.
That's right. So, but I do love sitting in the sun with, I have my morning smoke. I go out there with a joint, sometimes with a few herbs, sometimes not, and just say thank you. Just soak in that sun a little bit and just be appreciative. I'm going to be out there anyways, having my morning wake and bake. I might as well say thank you to the sun and say thank you to the day while I'm doing it. So it's not something I have to go out of my way to do. It's just something that I kind of layered on top of a thing I already do.
Something you're doing already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I have time, I have an altar out in the north of my property, and sometimes I'd like to go out there and do a little tiny ritual for the morning. But honestly, most mornings I don't have time for that. So just the wake and bake on the porch and say thank you to the sun. If that's all I've got time for, at least I did that for the day. I have that touchstone of waking up in the morning and having just that moment of magic for myself, that one little moment of witchiness. And sometimes that can be enough in the summer.
And circling back to the one card tarot pull, the one card tarot pull in this season is kind of to me like the what is too much right now. We were talking about the sun being too much or the heat being too much. Well, for my one card pull, what else is just too much right now? Is it something I need to either focus on or let go of? Do I need to just buck up and deal with it? Or do I just need to get the fuck over it and be done? Let it go. So that one card pull of what's kind of lurking, what's lurking.
I like that what is too much right now,
Yeah.
because one of the other things I have here in my notes goes back to a New Year's resolution. I know you
Yeah.
hate those. I know. It wasn't exactly, it was more like a something I wanted to accomplish. I guess it is a resolution, whatever.
A
Anyway,
to-do
it
list.
was part of my to-do list at the beginning of the year. One of those things was to say no 50 times.
To what?
Something that I want to say no to, but I feel like I should say yes to. And because I like people to be happy. I'm a fixer. I like to
You are a
fix
people
things.
pleaser.
Well, I'm a fixer. Let's call it fixer. I'm a fixer.
You're a fixer.
Okay. Yeah, so I tend to say yes. Yes, I will help you with that. Yes, yes, of course I can add that to my schedule. So my goal this year was to say no, like 4 times a month. That's it. Just once a week. All I gotta
How's
do
that
is
working out for you?
actually not bad. Actually not bad. I'm probably a little behind schedule, but I'm doing pretty good. And I think learning to say no is part of this not burning out.
Yeah.
And giving yourself the permission to say no to things. Give yourself permission to go sit in the shade. No, I don't want to go work in the sun right now. I just got finished mowing the lawn
Right?
and I need a minute. So, no, I'm going to go sit in the shade and take that time for myself.
Definitely self-care is a good way to be magical this time of year as well. So that's a really good point because anything you do self-care wise can be turned into magical moments, whether it is you're taking a bath at the end of the day and you just grab a bath bomb and turn that into a little bath ritual, or even just standing in the shower. I find myself a lot this time of year kind of doing, I call them water rituals, just for the sake of it is being done in the shower.
Are you talking about taking an extra cold shower during the day and calling it a water ritual?
Don't judge me, man.
I might also do that, so no judgment here.
So if I happen to run up upon you and spray you with the hose, I'm just trying to keep you magical.
Okay. There's been some days this week where I would have welcomed that. So, all right, you're on.
But even something as silly as that, spray yourself with the whole, cleanse yourself not only of all the grass you just mowed, but maybe you're cleansing yourself of too much. Too
Yeah, say no
much.
to too much. It's okay to say no. It's good to set boundaries. It's very good.
It absolutely is.
I'm also going to harken back a little bit here to tarot because we love tarot. And
Oh boy.
I want to pull a couple tarot cards, but first, I want to say a couple thank yous. And I want to say thank you to everyone who sent my bestie birthday wishes online, birthday wishes by mail, email. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You
Thank
guys
you
are
guys so much. You totally made my day spectacular.
now one of the recent gifts that you got also happens to have to do with tarot.
Actually, two recent gifts I got had to do
That's
with
true.
tarot.
One was a birthday gift and one was a thank you gift. So, what did the birthday gift?
Real quick, we'll start with the birthday gift. This was from Karen, and Layla's actually going to post Karen's info in the show notes. So look out for this. Karen
Her
happens to
Etsy
know.
shop, not her personal info, I swear. I swear we're not stalkers, people, I promise.
I'm going with what
Sorry,
Layla
go ahead.
said. So, no, I'm just kidding. So, Karen knows my love for tarot, and she has got, first of all, the most bitchin' Etsy shop. So, you really need to check it out. Every kind of bag you could totally love. But she decided I needed a tarot bag for my birthday, and I love it so much. It is black on the outside. It's got like an autumn print on the inside. And on the outside of the black, that's kind of like a velvet feel. It has what looks like the tree of life with the roots in the shape of a heart. And I love it so much. So, Karen, thank you, thank you, thank you for thinking of me on my birthday. And I've already started using it and I love it so much. But Layla, let's now talk about what I'm using it for.
Our next thing that we want to talk about is a thank you gift that came to both of us. And this gift came from Rebecca. And Rebecca is in my current beautiful home state of Pennsylvania. And holy shit, Rebecca,
Damn, Rebecca. Woo!
you're amazing. Now, both of us, I love tarot. Chelle loves tarot. We love tarot.
We love tarot. Like we harp on my love for tarot, but do not think Layla's is any less. She's just more humble about it.
My collection's way smaller, but then again, most people's are. What are you up to now?
I'm over 300. Stop. Let's not talk about this.
Oh, you hit that mark. Okay, congratulations. Congratulations. All right. Anyway, so yes, Rebecca knows that we love our tarot. And I'm not sure what Rebecca was thinking. Are you sure you meant us
She,
to have all this, Rebecca? Because holy cow.
she must have listened to our cleaning out episode. Because boy, did Rebecca clean out.
Now, Rebecca sent us a whole bunch of tarot decks, a book, a cool puzzle box, and a bag. Now, Rebecca, I got to talk to you here, woman, because how did you know? I'm not sure what's up
This is
here.
bizarre.
This is super bizarre. Now, I have mentioned once, I think maybe one time, maybe twice, I don't know, about a tarot deck I had decades ago. back when we were in a coven, and one of our things was going to different places, including colleges, to do presentations on Wicca and witchcraft and also tarot. We happened to be at a university doing a tarot presentation, and I had brought along several decks, including one called the Enchanted Tarot. This deck is by Amy Zerner and Monty Farber, and it was published, I believe, in 1990. Gorgeous deck. But boy, did it hate me. It hated everybody, to be honest. Anytime anyone would read with it, it was doom, gloom, death, awfulness, everything bad. The world's ending. Everything's terrible. Your dog's going to die. Your lover's cheating on you. Your house is about to burn down. And you have the worst uncurable disease imaginable. Every time.
Sounds like a great deck to me.
Yeah, a lot of fun at parties, let me tell you. So I felt like I should bring this deck to the tarot presentation. And I happened to meet a young man there, and he picked that deck in particular to have his cards read. And it was perfect. It was fine. It was perfectly normal reading. So I gave him the tarot deck. Now, this is many decades ago. As Chelle is opening this box from Rebecca, out of the bag, she pulls 3 decks. One of them is not in a box. And I see the back of it, and I immediately go, I know that deck. I know that deck. She turns it over, and I can see the collage art, and I said, that's the Enchanted Tarot. It's mine. So, of course, Chelle said, yeah, that's definitely yours. So yeah, I'm working with the Enchanted Tarot again, and it's just very weird because I just started talking about it recently. I just mentioned it not on the show, but to some people in our local community. And so, what a weird coincidence that it showed up in our P.O. box.
No, actually, I think you have mentioned it on the show at some point over the
I
years.
did at least once, maybe twice, but not a lot.
So, Rebecca, anytime you want to clean out your tarot or your books, we got you. We got you, girl. Thank you so much. We split them amicably, and we love them. Thank
We
you.
love them. Thank you very much. We have been having a blast playing with them. So now, for all of our listeners, we're going to pull a couple cards. I have a deck here in my hands from lovely Rebecca, and I believe Chelle has one as well.
Rebecca, I just want to say that the one that kind of put me over the edge a little bit, which I actually did not have, surprisingly, is the one JJ Swiss tarot deck, the 1974 version. And oh, thank you. Thank you. So I am going to pull a card from the one JJ Swiss deck.
And of course, I will be pulling a card from the Enchanted Tarot, and we'll see if it's horrible, evil, awful, or just run-of-the-mill normal. All right, you go first.
Okay. I've got the 9 of Cups.
Is this deck a Smith-Waite, Rider-Waite-Smith deck?
I mean, it's kind of that premise. It is not necessarily in English.
Wait, it's not in English? Really? Cool.
So, like, see, can you see that?
I do. Oh, yeah, Roy de Baton. Am I saying that right? Anybody know French? Roy de Baton.
This one's Le Judgment.
So, 9 of Cups. I like that card. I love the 9 of Cups. It's right before the Happy Family card, and it's the wish card, right? That's dreams come true.
And that's exactly what I was going to say when I think of that. It's like, see, the 10 of Cups I think of as your dreams have come true, and the 9 is they are coming true. So with a 9, I put that ing on, like, they're coming true, they're coming to fruition, kind of that everything's going your way at this point. Only you can fuck it up now because all the stars are aligned.
See, I see it a little bit more like it's coming true, but you're kind of sitting in it. Like you're sitting in your abundance. Like it's already started. You're already kind of in that abundance. Your wishes are coming true. It's not that it's just started and it also hasn't ended yet, but you're kind of like, you're sitting right in the middle of all the
You're
goodness.
like on the precipice of all of it. What'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to pull. Hold on. All right. Anything in particular jump out at you from that card?
And here's the thing with this card. These are the minor arcana, very simple. They're not super graphic-y. So this just has 9 cups. It has the number 9 in 2 spots with Roman numerals, and it's got acorns on it and acorn branches.
Oh, it's kind of Lenormand-y with just the symbols there.
Right, very simple. So I don't get a lot out of the symbology of this card. I'm just going on what I personally know of the Nine of Cups with my history and experience and knowledge.
I love the fact that you have the Nine of Cups because I have
What'd you get?
the Prince of Pentacles.
No shit.
Yeah, I think those two go along hand in hand beautifully, especially for Litha, kind of sitting in that abundance as more is coming your way. You know, your dreams are starting to be fulfilled or continuing to be fulfilled. And I drew the Prince of Pentacles, which is essentially the Knight of Pentacles. And that's your hard-working energy, right? You're working towards those dreams. So not only are you sitting in the middle of this abundance and your dreams are coming true, but you're continuing to work. So dreams are coming true, things are happening, it's all coming towards you. You have some of it now, and you're working towards even more. So this is like ultimate success. This is like being on the path to abundance. So I guess both of these cards maybe are very much solar, litha, big abundance energy. And we were just talking about shade energy and big, don't get too burnt out. So I guess maybe that's the counterbalance to these two cards is they are saying that that energy is strong. Go get them, ramp up to that energy, get it all.
Right.
But also take time for you, take time for the shade, take time for the bath, take time to step into the fairy woods and be 10 degrees cooler than you are right now. So I don't know, maybe that's the counterbalance. Here we are all talking about don't get too burnt out. And the tarot cards we picked are like, go, go, go.
The counterbalance.
Right? So I do have a solar boundaries spell that's pretty quick and easy, again, in our whole theme of being quick and easy. So before we close out after our tarot readings here, our little tarot cards, I just wanted to give you a very quick two-candle boundaries spell. And Litha's a good time for boundaries. You know, there's the changing of the guard, the Oak King and the Holly King are, I don't necessarily see them as dying. I see that they're changing places. One's going to the southern hemisphere, the other one's coming to the, they're kind of like giving each other a fist
Rotating.
bump. Yeah, fist bump on the way to switch hemispheres is really what's happening here. So, I don't know, maybe I see it as being able to keep that boundary civilly. So I know some people see that they fight, but you can also see that they respect that boundary of each other's dominion and that one passes the other and that they trade that baton civilly because they respect those boundaries. The gods have boundaries. You should have boundaries too. Learn when to say no and step into the shade. All right, so this is a two-candle spell. You take one and put it on your left-hand side and another candle and put it on your right-hand side. Light the candle on the left. Think of where am I giving too much in my life? Where am I too out in the open? Where am I saying yes because it's easy to say yes and get along, or if I feel like I have to, or there's too much on my plate? Watch that candle burn. Think of the light as consuming you. It's eating all of your energy up. It's taking it all away. So think about that. Then, when you've had enough, put the candle out, however you want to. Doesn't matter how you extinguish it, but put it out. Say, I no longer give my fire. I no longer give my energy to whatever it is that you're giving too much to. Other people, my job, my boss, my whatever, my hobby. I don't know, whatever you're giving too much energy to. Then, when you put out a candle and you can watch that smoke go up?
Yeah.
Look at the cooling wax on the top of the candle. Watch the smoke. That wax is kind of covering over that part of you. Think of energy that people are pulling from you, almost like a wound that's bleeding. That wax is like the scab that's sealing over. It's covering that cut. It's covering that up and helping you to seal that energy leak. And think of the black smoke going up as returning any negativity that you need returned to sender or any negativity that you have going back to the universe to be recycled, to be transformed. Then light the candle on your right and say, I return my fire to wherever you need to pay more attention, myself, my work, my schoolwork, my dreams, whatever it happens to be. Sit with that and watch that fire. And remember that that's the flame that you chose. You chose that flame. When you're done with that, put that fire out, and then you can walk forward and remember that you can put out any fire that no longer serves you. Put your energy where you need it to go and extinguish it where it's draining you too much. So, just a
I
simple
like
spell.
that.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, before we go, and go get replenished a little bit by the sun, we have something damn exciting that we need to share with our listeners. So, Layla,
Chelle,
tell the people our new exciting adventure.
which exciting adventure? We have like 6 different things going on right now. Which one did you want me to talk about?
It was going to be tarot.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, okay. We have so many adventures. I wasn't sure. We do have an exciting adventure, actually. Speak all this tarot stuff we've been talking about. Now, we have been having some glitches on our website with our current store, and we will be working on getting that back up. But one thing that we do have on the website that's brand new
And fully functional now.
are tarot readings. You can now book us for tarot readings. We have several different offerings. If you want an emailed reading, if you want a voice message reading, if you'd like a personal Zoom reading with the two of us, we have options.
Or if you want to party with your besties and your dearest and nearest.
We have a tea token tarot option as well. And to celebrate our brand new tarot offerings on our website, we decided to draw a name from our benefactors. So if you are one of the lovely people who helps to support the show, check your email, see if you are the lucky winner of an email tarot reading from Chelle and I. So you'll get that along with our immense gratitude, so many thank yous, and a little sprinkling of generosity magic for all of you lovely witches who help to keep this show running. If you're not a benefactor and you'd like to be, check out our website or the link in the show notes. So check out the website, go to backonthebroomstick.com, check out the booking section. We do have some tarot offerings there. So if you're interested in seeing what the future holds for you, having a question or 3 answered, we've got a tarot offering for you.
So we're really excited. And again, the store, we're working out some of the glitches in the rest of the store, but we've got some new stuff up, got some new things going on. So definitely check us out, backonthebroomstick.com. You'll see some stuff also on the Facebook, on the Insta, and you can get us everywhere, whether it be on our website, whether it be to find us as far as listening, Apple, Spotify, go to all the places, do all the things, check out the YouTube, give us stars, give us likes, send us email.
Send us a little mail in our mailbox. Summertime is definitely a time to do all the wonderful things for yourself. Get outside, touch the grass, maybe not the mugwort if you're allergic to it.
Don't do it.
Spend a little time in the sun, spend a little time in the shade, and definitely spend a little time with your witchy self.
And if you want to drop us a note, you can send that to Back on the Broomstick, P.O. Box 21, Tioga, PA 16946.
And thank you to everyone who has sent us mail so far. If you send us something, we will talk about it on the air. We have a Witch's Answer episode coming up, so if you want to send us a letter with a question for that, be sure to get that in the next week or so. You can also send those questions by email to backonthebroomstick@gmail.com. But in the meantime, get out there, enjoy this beautiful sunshiny weather, enjoy this upcoming Litha season, and be wise, be wicked.
And keep it witchy while using your sunscreen.